an important thing that you would all want to know as to what is it that we are going to do in this session of 1 hour. For simplicity, I have divided this session into 3 modules. Now, the first module is going to talk about what is virtual presentation, what do you mean by it, and what are the different types of virtual presentations that we get to do. It is also going to talk about what is the difference between a virtual presentation and a face-to-face presentation. In module 2, we are going to talk about, now when you're doing a presentation, there are 2 elements that you have to take care of. The first element is, the PPT that you use. And the second element is you as the presenter. And your presentation will become effective only and only when both of these elements have been taken care of. So in module 2, we are going to talk about how do we make our PPTs more effective, and also how can we make ourselves as presenters more effective. So that's module 2 for you. In module 3 is a fun module. I'm going to play a trivia with all of you. So get ready for your fastest fingers first. So this is what we are going to do in today's 1 hour session. But I think it's very important for all of us to have a set of ground rules to make the most of the 1 hour that we have, right? So some of the ground rules for this session. I would request that this is a 1 hour session and we have to make the most of it. So try not leaving the session in between so that the flow is there. The second important thing is I will request everybody to put your cell phones on mute so that there is no distraction in between. It is very, very important for you to listen attentively and participate fully. What I mean by this is that I know that we are all in a virtual environment, but that doesn't mean that we should restrict ourselves from sharing what thoughts are, what do we want to have as a question. So keeping all of these in mind, please use the chat window as much as possible. I have requested everybody to go on mute for right now so that everybody can hear what we are having a conversation about. But if there is something that you want to talk about, either mention that in the chat window, I will keep referring to it, or unmute yourself and share what you want to share. During the session, there are going to be multiple times that I'm going to be posing certain questions, right? And then it is also possible that I will take out names of people. So I'll call out Abhya, or I will call out Dinesh or Amrita, somebody's name, and they can unmute themselves and share their thoughts and opinions. So I'll keep calling out names of different people so that we can have participation from all of you. So when I call out your name, I will request everybody to promptly go on unmute and share your thoughts and opinions, right? Are we all good? Are we promising that we are going to go by the ground rules? I need a yes from everybody. So you can go on unmute and say us together yes on the count of 3, 2, and 1. So do I have a yes? 3, 2, and 1.
Yes.
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 Okay, fantastic. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I'll request everybody now to go back on mute. All right, great. Thank you. Now, I will also want to share with all of you that, as I said in the objective part as well, there is a trivia that we are going to play in the end, which is going to be based upon whatever we are discussing right now here in the session. So it's only when you're glued to what we are talking about that you will be able to answer all the questions. I will request you to listen attentively and participate fully once again so that you can score the best in your trivia. Okay. So on that note, let's start module 1. Okay. And module 1 is about virtual presentation. But before I actually go to virtual presentation, my question to you, and probably I will take a name and then I will request everybody else can share their thoughts in the chat window. But I will request if Dinesh can hear me, I would want to ask this question to Dinesh Chetri. Dinesh, I want to ask you, why do you think we are doing this session on presentation skills? Why is presentation as a skill so important?
Well, I mean, presentation is somewhat different.
Okay, I think there is, Dinesh, I think there is some disturbance. So I will request you to go on mute and share your thought on the chat window. In the meantime, if Amrita can hear me, Amrita, would you want to share why do you think presentation skill as a skill is such an important thing to have? Amrita, can you hear me?
Can hear you. So,
Okay, all right.
presentation, as per my thought, is required to give the visual thoughts to the team wherever you are working with, to give them more clarity with the probably with the diagrams or with certain figures or anything. So that will be
Okay.
the presentation would be the best part, which I would say for the team, which are helpful in the team meetings.
Okay, all right. So thank you for sharing that, Amrita. Request you to go back on mute, please. I have Ashfaq who's saying presentation is the very thing. Neeraj says to be able to communicate is important and effective communication is possible through the right tool. Okay, thank you for sharing that, Neeraj. All right, so now my next question possibly is, I will probably want to ask Tripta. If Tripta can hear me, Tripta, this question is for you. My question is, what do you think is a virtual presentation? What is your thought about it? Tripta, if you can hear me, please.
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I audible?
Absolutely, you're audible. Tell me.
Okay. So, virtual itself, if we go by literal meaning, is, when we are not face to face, we are probably, sharing the way you are sharing right now with us. And why it is important, because you don't know what other person is doing, could be distracted by something else. So it is very important to, have the presentation in a way that people are ready to, focus on that and are paying attention to it completely. So I think
Okay.
virtual presentations are more important than the class presentation. गया मेरा भी.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought
Okay.
I was on hold again. I am also having
No, no
some
problem.
technical
I think
issues.
I heard you, Tripta. I heard you. Thank you for sharing your thought. Okay, so in your thought, virtual presentation is very important. Rahul Joshi says a pictorial representation is better than a paragraph. Certainly it is, Rahul. Neeraj says you have to make your presence felt without being there. Rajesh says that this is the best platform for self-development and best way to have a conversation. All right, thank you everybody for sharing your thoughts. Abhya says to be able to share information. Melisande says to be able to share information across different locations, teams, geographies, and to get everybody on the same page. Thank you very much, everybody, for sharing your thought. I think, Tripta, you shared a very important thing. The kind of presentation that we are doing, this webinar that we are doing is a classic example of a virtual presentation. And I'm trying to incorporate whatever I'm talking about in the session today. I've tried to incorporate every bit on it in this interactive process as well. So yes, it is the best example. Now let's go ahead and understand what is presentation. Now presentation is called a wow skill. Okay, and the reason it is called a wow skill because it is an opportunity for the presenter to connect to their audience. Now sometimes it is also possible that these audience members are very important people. Say for example, the executive team members of a team or the senior management folks. Sometimes you're required to present in front of them, and therefore if you're leveraging your presentation skills to the maximum, what happens is you're able to create a positive impression in the minds of the people who are listening to you. And this positive impression has a very key and critical role to play when it comes to your professional journey. So yes, it is one of the skills which gives you an opportunity to create the right impressions in the minds of the people. Now coming to virtual presentation, because our session is all about that. As Tripta and everybody else who shared in the chat window said, yes, we are all sitting remotely. Somebody is sitting in some part of the world and some other part of India, but we are all able to connect to each other through this platform. So the host, which is in this case me, and the audiences, which are all the participants sitting in here, we are all sitting in remotely. But I'm sure all of us understand here that even before this COVID situation hit us, various organizations were operating globally. And when they were operating globally, it was required for them to interact with each other in a virtual environment. But with this COVID situation hitting us right now, it is becoming all the more important for us to be able to adjust to this environment of being able to present virtually. In fact, all the people whose pictures you see here, whether it is Mahatma Gandhi, whether it is Martin Luther King Jr., Narendra Modi, Obama, Sadhguru, or Steve Jobs, what I'm sure you're going to agree to this is that all these people, when they have tried to connect to their audiences, the most common platform that they have used is the virtual platform. And they have been immensely effective, which means that even in a virtual environment, it is possible for us to have a connection, to have an interaction. So it is the need of the hour, and therefore it's important that we get adjusted and tuned into it. And this session is all about that. Now, my next question, I would want to ask if this time, Repu Sharma, Repu, can you hear me? Okay, I will ask this question to Rajesh. Rajesh, if you can hear me, Rajesh Kumar. Rajesh, can you hear me? Okay, Melisande. Okay, Rajesh can hear me. Okay, Rajesh, my next question is to you then. Okay, my next question to you is, what are the different types of virtual engagements that you see different people getting engaged into these days? What are the different types?
Ma'am, through and Microsoft Teams.
Okay. Okay, that's a platform.
Interacts right now.
Okay, all right. Okay. Anybody would want to add? Sunil Dubey. Sunil, if you're hearing me, would you want to add something to what Rajesh said? What are the different types of virtual engagements you see people in an organization getting engaged into? That's my question.
The telephonic way, and another one is the virtual face-to-face connect through some net meetings or some face-to-face interaction kind of.
Okay, all right, fair. Okay, so let me ask you another question, and this time I would probably, if Melisande, okay, WebEx, Skype, Suman says, Melisande says organizational based apps. Okay, these are the platforms that we are using. Visual audio, Rahul says. Okay, so Melisande, let me ask you this question. What do you think is the difference between a face-to-face and a visual presentation? If you could unmute yourself, Ms. Melisande, and share with us, what do you think is the difference between the two?
Definitely. Are you able to hear me, Monica?
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. So I would say that each a visual presentation or a face-to-face presentation and a virtual presentation both have their perks, both have their plus points. But in terms of differences, okay, and what each platform has to offer, in a visual, in a face-to-face presentation, your audience is right there in front of you. So you are able to gauge the level of connect of your audience to what you are saying and to the content. You're able to gauge how they feel about it. Are they in agreement with you, or are they, are they sitting on the fence about it? So you're able to gauge reactions up close and personal in a very, very first-hand manner. So therefore, your response also time is going to be very, very short if you are somebody who's clued into your audience. On a virtual platform, like as you can see right now, you really have to be very, very quick to respond and very, very and very flexible with your with the many things that you're expected to do as a presenter, because your audience is dispersed. There is a virtual divide between you and them. And so sometimes you're going to have to, the difference over here is because you lack that face-to-face connect or that personal interaction, you have to rely on other tools like how you are doing right now. You'll have to rely on verbal nods to keep them engaged. You'll have to rely on engaging visuals. So everything is stepped up like 10 notches when you are on a virtual presentation, in terms of your skill, in terms of your tools, like your presentation, your videos, your content, and your time management as well. So that's where I'm going to keep quiet and let you take on.
How beautifully you have, covered all the points, Melisande. Thank you for doing that. I'll request everybody to go on mute right now. Thank you. Quite a lot of points covered already. So I'll just try and fill in the gaps. As most of you said and shared, and Melisande also said, is that in a face-to-face interaction, since the audience is sitting right in front of you, you are able to establish a relationship between them and you are able to gauge that too. In a virtual environment, this becomes a little bit of challenge. It's not that it's not possible, but yes, the difficulty level is higher. And therefore, if you're not at it, if you're not very, prudent in switching, multitasking, it is quite possible that this interaction becomes transactional rather than on the basis of relationship. So that's one of the major differences between a face-to-face and virtual. I also feel that, not that we don't use technology when we are interacting face-to-face, we do use a projector, a laptop and things like that. But I think the dependency on technology is all the more when you're interacting in a virtual environment, because all of us are using different devices too, and different platforms like WebEx or Skype or Zoom or Microsoft Teams to interact with each other. So there is a lot more dependency on technology when it comes to virtual presentation. It is also that, even right now when I'm interacting with all of you, I have a lot of things open onto my system. I have a chat window open, I'm letting people in, I'm looking at my presentation. So I am literally multitasking and I'm doing it really, really fast. So in a virtual presentation, you are required to multitask quite a bit, and it's much more as compared to a face-to-face interaction. It is also possible that when I'm interacting with people in a training room and I can see them, and if I see them distracted, I have a mechanism of bringing them back to the conversation. But that opportunity I don't have in a virtual environment, because most of you I can't see. Everybody is off camera. So that becomes a little bit of challenge when we are interacting in a virtual environment. But I also believe that it's only a matter of time. There are a lot of things which have evolved over a period of time. And I think the virtual presentation mode is also undergoing an evolution. And there is going to be a time when all of us, or most of us, are going to be very, very, pros in handling all of these things, and it's going to become much more easier for us than it is right now. But yes, there is a difference between the two. There are different types, and it is not that these are the only types. This is the webinar that we are having. The virtual engagements could be in the form of a video tutorial. So you make a video, you upload it, people go through those tutorials, or a podcast, or online conferences, or virtual meetings, as you said. So, these are the different types of virtual engagements. There is a long list. These are some of the few that I've tried to mention in here, just to give you an understanding. Now, with that, I come to the end of the module 1 of today's session, which was about introduction to virtual presentation. And I want to open the forum for any questions that you might have at this point in time. If anybody has a question, please feel free to ask. Yes, Melisande says that we have to get used to it. The tool to help us with the new normal work from home. Yes, I agree. Does anybody have a question, or are we good to go? You can give me a yes in the chat window. Okay. Archana says no. Okay. Melisande says no. Okay. Thank you, everybody. So I'm moving on to the next part of the session, which is about planning and preparing. Now, I said that the module 2 is about 2 important ingredients of presentations, be it virtual or be it face-to-face, but we're going to have this conversation more in the context of virtual presentation. Now, as I said, presentation involves 2 things. One is the PowerPoint that you're using, which is the tool that you're using to make the presentation. And the second one is you as the presenter. We are going to talk about both of these elements, but let's talk about the presentation first. Now, irrespective of whatever you do into your life, whether it is a project, it is something that you're doing at home, I think planning and preparing is the first step, because that's where we get to think, strategize, figure out, a lot of things for ourselves. And the rule is no different for presentation skills, which means that the first thing that we need to get involved into when we are making a presentation is to plan and prepare for it. And when I say plan and prepare, what does it mean? So let me ask this question to the group. Okay, I think Shiva Shankara, can you hear me? Are you able to hear me? Okay, Ashfaq, can you hear me? Okay, so so if you can hear me, Shiva Shankara, can you please go off mute and share your thoughts and opinions about this question that I'm going to ask, which is that when you are planning and preparing for creating a PowerPoint, what is it that you need to keep in mind? What is your thought about it? It seems Shiva Shankara cannot hear me. Abhaya, can you hear me? Okay. Bhushan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. So
Great.
The question is that what do we need to be prepared before the presentation? Is that the question?
So, okay, so I'll share it once again with you. My question is that suppose if you have to make a presentation and you have to, create a PPT or make a PPT. Right. And we said that the first step there is plan and prepare. So what are the different things that you actually take care of in the first stage, which is plan and prepare stage? What do you do currently?
Yeah. So first thing, when we are planning for a presentation, first we need to know who is the audience. So
Okay.
For whom are we preparing the presentation for? What is the subject for which we are preparing? So what are we going to talk about? Secondly, we need to even think that what are the questions which will come up from the audience for whom we are preparing the presentation. Fourth thing is how do we keep the audience engaged completely throughout the presentation? So do we need to ask questions in between, or do we need to have a polling in between, or what are the type of visual images which if you put up on the presentation, will it attract or will it engage the audience completely? And if we are doing a presentation to a third party like a prospect or a customer, if they are into some business, do we talk about them first, then do we talk about our product and later on? So all these things will have to be thought about.
Thank you so much, Bhushan, for sharing that. I think you've covered most of the points and I will fill in the gaps here. I think every presentation that you do is your story, right? And every story needs a structuring or a storyboard. Just like you have a skeletal system to support the framework of your body, similarly, you need a structure to support your PowerPoint. Now, if you're making a story, I'm sure most of us in India are passionate about two things. One is cricket and the other one is movies, right? And whenever we go and watch movie in a theater, the movie that we end up liking the most are the ones wherein one scene is beautifully connected to the second, to the third, and it is so beautifully transitioning that you don't feel like getting up from your seat and going in anywhere. And if you feel that the scene 1 and scene 2 and scene 3 are totally disconnected, you say, okay, let me go and get a popcorn and coffee for myself. So something which has a real story where there is a smooth transition, smooth flow, that's what you're there to listen to. And therefore, storyboarding is very, very important. Providing a structure, a flow to your presentation is a very key step, is what I feel. Second, as Bhushan said, resonating with your audience. You have to tell the story on the basis of what the audience wants to hear. If there is a disconnect between what you're saying and what the audience wants to hear, then the engagement is going to break. So resonating with the audience, your story has to resonate with your audience. Now, what is it that you want to achieve through the presentation? What's your objective? What's the outcome do you want? If you have a clarity about what is it that I want to achieve through that presentation, you will also be able to transfer that very clearly to your audience. So in your mind, you have to be very clear as to what message do you want to pass on. As Bhushan also said, your presentation has to be visually appealing. Nobody wants to look at a shabby presentation where it's all like a novel, right? So, you know, small text and things like that. So till the time your presentation is visually appealing, nobody would want to listen to that presentation or see through the slides. And last but not the least, keep it short and simple, which means that nobody wants to hear a long presentation. If it's too long a presentation, the audience's minds have got disconnected quite long back. So they are there, but they're not actually there. So if you tell the story and keep it very short and simple, they're able to get the message and they're able to understand and resonate with your story. So these are the few things that you have to keep in mind when you are creating the PowerPoint, which you're going to use as a tool while you're presenting it to your audience. Now going to the next part. Now, as I said, the PowerPoint is just a tool. The real and the most important element of a presentation, of a virtual presentation in this context, is you as the presenter. So what is it that you have to do to make sure that your presentation is a wow presentation? Now, the same presentation you give to Steve Jobs vis-a-vis you give to somebody else, there is going to be a class difference. And the reason is because of the kind of engagement or the kind of relationship Steve Jobs is able to establish with his audiences. So how can I take some few hacks or some few techniques from there and incorporate and practice in my day-to-day life? Let's talk about that. Now, moving on, the first and the most important thing is how you start. The way you start is your first connect with the audience. So let me open the forum and ask this question. So when you are starting for your presentation, when you are starting delivering your presentation, what are the various things that you need to keep in mind? And let me ask this question to Bhupinder. Bhupinder, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can.
Bhupinder. Okay, great, fantastic. So my question to you, Bhupinder, is I only want thoughts and opinions from everybody. We are here to learn from each other. What is in your thought, in your mind, when you are delivering a presentation, what are the few things that you have to keep in mind right in the beginning of making that presentation?
Hello.
Yes, Bhupinder, I can hear you very clearly.
Sorry,
did you hear my question?
Your voice was breaking. Can you please repeat the question for me?
Sure. My question is that when you're supposed to go and deliver a presentation. Okay. What are the few things that you will keep in mind in the very beginning when you're starting a presentation?
Hello.
Yes. Did you hear my question?
Yes, I did.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Bhupinder. Okay, there seems to be some problem in Bhupinder. We're waiting for your response. Okay, in the meantime, if Neeraj can hear me. Neeraj, can you hear me? Neeraj Kumar? Okay, who would want to take a shot and answer this for all of us? When you're going to, suppose there is a senior management has called in for a meeting and you're supposed to present in that meeting, what are a few things that you will keep in mind when you are starting a presentation? Okay, so Ashfaq says greetings, objective, how the presentation. Okay, who's the audience? Okay, so this was the answer for the plan and prepare process. Okay, objective. Amrita says objective. Suman says objective and agenda. Okay. Sumant, can you hear me? Okay. Nayan set the context of the presentation. Nayan, would you want to elaborate a little bit? If you can hear me, Nayan?
So yes, I can hear you. So if it is within the organization with the senior management, I think you have to set the context of the presentation. What I mean to say, set the context means what is the purpose of this presentation is all about. Suppose if it is going to be the business review, so you have to say that, I mean, this is a business review of the month of, say, for example, for the month of March, I'm going to present, and also the presentation flow you have to say, like in this presentation, I am cover these are the things. First, I will be covering about the due diligence completion or not, whatever the task what taken. So this is how I am going to cover the presentation. So after you set the flow, then in that flow you cover your presentation, everything. Like what is the first point? You put those slides, maybe 2 or 3. The second point, you cover 2-3 slides. So like that, whatever in the first slide, the presentation flow you have put. Once you set the context, then you complete your presentation in that flow. So that is what is how you getting started. So this is just to get the attention of the audience, or in this case, the senior management. So they so that they are mentally prepared, like what I am going to cover in my presentation in the next 30 minutes.
Okay, fair. All right. So I'll read a few comments of some people who have shared. Okay, Suman says the agenda and the objective. Ria says who's the audience. Amrita says objective. Nayan, who already shared her thoughts, also set the context of the presentation. Satvir says we should look confident. Yes, okay. Melisande says, since it is the senior management audience, I will keep in mind the audience's need. They don't have a lot of time, so I will set the context and get right to the point. Okay, fair. Juhi says, know your material, eye contact with your audience. Yes. Keep it simple, effective, colors, limited text. We can add story, animation, summarize. Okay. I will start with an interesting opening. Melisande, thank you for that. I will start with an interesting opening. And if it is for a proposal or a review, I will mention some interesting stats and then talk about the business case. Rajesh says you may ask expectations, and Shiva Kumar says create a good environment. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. I think great points came in. And I think it's very important to set the context right. And setting the context, I mean, when I came in for this virtual presentation skills workshop and I began, I tried to introduce myself and I tried to make that introduction a little elaborate and a little interesting so that it gives me an opportunity to engage with my audience. Because if my audience is engaged with me, when I ask a question, they will feel free to respond. They will feel free to share their thoughts and opinions with me. Now, I also want to ask all of you, when I say conversing versus lecturing, what do you think is the difference between conversing and lecturing? What is the difference between the two? You can either share your thoughts in the chat window or, okay, Shiva Kumar, if you can hear me, can you share your thought about what do you think is difference between conversing and lecturing? Okay, Sunil says two-way versus one-way. Yes, Rahul says conversation is two-way while lecturing is one-way. Okay, conversing is keeping it interactive. Conversing, you're talking to the audience, and lecturing is one-way download. Absolutely, you've got it absolutely right. See, there's one point that I would want to make, I would want to share with all of you is that a lot of things that we are right now sharing in this presentation and with each other in this webinar, it's not that we don't know most of it. It is quite possible that most of it we already know. But I always feel that there is a difference between knowing and doing. How much of what I know am I being able to implement and execute effectively is going to determine how good or not good I am. So I think the bridging that gap is very, very important. And sometimes having these kind of conversation helps us to refresh our memories. And that's precisely what we are doing right now through this interaction. Yes, having a conversation. If I'm the only one who's talking, then probably you will lose interest beyond a point. It will become like a lecture, but because this is not a teaching mode, this is a facilitation, and therefore we have to learn from each other's opinions, thoughts, and experiences. So a conversation, as you rightly said, is a two-way process. Lecturing is a one-way process. Now, imagine that I have a voice which is very, very monotonous. For example, hello, everyone. My name is Monica. Now, when I say it in that voice and you have to hear the entire presentation in a monotone, what happens is you get disengaged. It becomes boring. You sleep off. And it's very, very human to do that. So what do you need to do as a presenter? You have to vary your voice, your volume, your pace, the variety. You have to bring. A question needs to look like a question. And if you do that, what happens is the audiences are engaged in what you're saying just because you're saying it in the right way, and it makes it look, you're able to emote through your voice is how I would want to put it. Show a lot of passion when you're presenting, because passion and smile is one thing that appears even in your voice. If you're passionate about something, somebody hears your voice, they will be able to figure out, how passionately are you presenting? Are you smiling or not smiling? So I think it comes free, and we can use it and leverage it to the best when we are starting a presentation. It helps us set the context right. Yes, Sunil says modulation of voice is very, very important. I agree with you, Sunil, totally. Now, this is the beginning. Now, there are some do's and don'ts. When we're presenting in a virtual environment, there are some things that we have to be very, very aware of and do it right. Now, my question to the group here is, what are some of the do's? What are some of the things that are very, very important to keep in mind when we are presenting virtually? So what are the do's of virtual presentation is what my question is. You can use the chat window to write your thoughts. Or if Sumant can hear me, I would, Sumant, if you can hear me, Sumant Ghiwari. Okay. Sumant, can you hear me? Okay, it seems Sumant can you hear me, Sumant?
Yes, I can.
Okay, fair. So my question is, if you could share your thoughts and opinions about what are some of the do's of virtual presentation?
See, as I said, whatever the PPT we are going to provide to the technical manager or team managers, that should be in a simple format. It should be into very less informative and to be very productive. Instead of having a number of information, instead of having a number of algorithms, and diagrams, so you need to cut it short and you need to present simple way.
Okay, so keep it simple.
Keep it simple, yeah.
Okay. Archana says instruction to the audience to mute the audio and switch off the video before we start. So basically it's about setting the ground rules. Yes, thank you, Archana. Sunil says take a pause after a certain time and ask the audience if they're clear or not. Yes, it is very, very important. Make sure that your network is working really, really good. Yes, Bhushan, you're absolutely right. Technology is one of the key things when we are interacting virtually. So that's an important element. Yes. Tone and words are more important than body language. I couldn't agree more with you, Rajesh. That's and be participative. All right, great, thank you. So let me take you through a few of the things that are very, very important, which is the do's of the virtual presentation. Now, one of the do's of the virtual presentation is technology. Now, all of us are using a platform to interact with each other, and therefore we have to make sure that we are able to hear each other very clearly. When we are speaking, the audiences are able to hear us very, very clearly. We are using a good camera if we are hosting the meeting or the virtual presentation. And since we have to share our thoughts and views through interact with each other, we have to use certain interaction tools. For example, for right now, we are keeping a mix of the chat window as well as getting some people to share their thoughts and opinions. And I think a mix of the interaction tools and this kind of an interaction is very, very important for the success of the virtual presentation. The second important thing is keep up with the time. If you've promised, say, hey, I'm going to start at 4 o'clock. Don't keep people waiting, start on time. Keep up with the time. You have to have good amount of light. If you're sitting in dark, nobody is able to see you. So these are very, very smaller nuances, but play a very, very important role in the effectiveness of your virtual presentation. Moving on, asking people the right questions. Also, giving them time to respond. If I'm asking a question and not giving you the time to respond, it is quite possible that I miss out on a few people who otherwise might have shared their thoughts and opinions. So keeping a balance between asking the right question and giving people time to respond is very, very important. Having a plan B. Now, I tried to have Vishal here. I'm sure he's here. Vishal, are you there?
Now I am. I am so sorry. I was not able to unmute myself, and I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, so hey everybody, here's Vishal, and he's my plan B. So, we before I got into this virtual presentation skills webinar, I said, hey, I need to have, suppose what if, my internet goes off, and what if my power supply goes off and something happens or my system hangs, what will I do? So, to have a plan B, I requested Vishal, hey Vishal, can you be there? And if I log off for some reason, can you just take on for the time that I take in to come back? So, and it's also possible to have log in with another system. So I'm logged in from another system also and another network also. So I am trying as much as possible to have a plan B in place in case something goes wrong. As everybody has pointed out earlier too, keeping the font simple is very, very important. So moving on, engaging your participants. When I'm asking the questions, you guys are responding. You also have the feeling, hey, Monica can ask me a question at any point in time. So I have to be there, right, to respond. So you create some mechanisms to engage with your participants. You have to make your presentation look so good that people want, visually appealing, that people want to look at your presentation. Your camera needs to be at the eye level because people are interacting with you through the camera. And try to make this a kind of a conversation, a two-way process rather than a one-way process. So these are a few things which, if kept in mind, play a very, very important role. Okay, great. My next question is, we talked about the do's. What are the don'ts? What do you think are the don'ts of virtual presentation, things that you should not do? Okay, Juhi, can you hear me? Okay, Rahul says don't put all the content into the PPT. Okay, ensure that you're on mute when you're not participating. All right, yes. Juhi, are you able to hear me, Juhi?
Hello, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So just like we discussed some of the do's of virtual presentation, what do you think are some of the don'ts of virtual presentation, Juhi? Would you share your thoughts?
Okay. So I think you shouldn't miss out on the eye contact when you're virtually presenting, and you shouldn't go off topic. You should be, whatever you're speaking, you should be on the topic, and
okay.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Juhi. Okay, great. Yeah. Archana also says, adding to your point, Juhi, she says we should not receive a phone call in between. Yes. Don't be late. Never ask questions when there is a conversation already going on. Avoid colored or dark PPT. Don't use small font size. Don't divert from the main objective, and keep away the distractions. Okay, all right. Just to add on to a few points that you already shared, it's very important to spend that 1 minute or 2 minutes of an initial time to engage with your audiences. And I tried doing that when people were coming in. I said a hi and hello, and I tried to have that conversation in the very beginning. So engaging with your participants is very important. Don't jump in the presentation straight away. Don't ignore personal grooming. Dress appropriately. Now, recently there was a very funny video which was circulating in WhatsApp, wherein there was these 4 people having a kind of a virtual meeting, and probably this guy forgot to put himself off camera, and he was roaming around the entire room in boxers, and everybody was laughing at his guts. I know, we have the liberty of being off camera, but sometimes it can just become a little awkward. So even though you're going in and it's possible that you don't turn on your camera, it's important that you dress appropriately for the occasion, as if you're going for an actual presentation. So personal grooming is very, very important. It's important that you don't look at your notes, because your audiences will understand whether you're reading or you're talking to them. So look directly into the camera as much as possible when you are having this conversation or presenting virtually. And as I said, avoid any kind of a monotone. Keep your pitch, speed, and volume so that you're able to engage your audiences, correctly. So these are the few things which are the do's and the don'ts of a virtual presentation. Now, as much as it is important for us to start with, have a powerful start and keep in mind the do's and the don'ts, what is also important is to conclude powerfully. Now, when I say powerful conclusion, what do you think? I mean by it? What do you think is a powerful way of concluding your presentation? Ashfaq, if you can hear me, would you want to share your thoughts and opinions about what are the points that you would want to keep in mind while closing your presentation or concluding your presentation? Ashfaq, if you can hear me?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Please go ahead.
Yeah, we can do a total summary of whatever we have presented, and finally, maybe we can give a small, activity to be done maybe for the till and then the next. These two things can be done to keep it engaged.
Yeah, that's a great point, Ashfaq. I think I agree with you. There are some other people saying, yes, we have to talk about the next steps. What is it that you would want people to do after they go back, after attending this presentation? Suman says, avoid spelling mistakes, recap the main points. Melisande says, yes, it's completely in sync with what Ashfaq said already. End with the next steps, getting the audience's reactions and the real takeaways. Yes, absolutely correct. I will just bridge in and share a few points. When you are stopping, it's important that you announce, hey, with that, we come to the end of module 1, module 2, or we come to the end of the presentation, so that you're keeping your audiences aware about what is happening. As everybody said, very rightly said, summarize your main points, pause and see if people have any kind of a question. Say a thank you towards the end of the presentation. It seems like the most obvious thing, but believe me when I say that many of the presenters forget to say that. And if there are people who are acknowledging or applauding what you've done, it's very important to acknowledge that also. Very small, finer points, but very important as far as concluding your presentation is concerned. So with that, we discussed certain elements as to how we can make our PPT effective and how we can make ourselves effective as presenters, right? Now, this, I think, is the most important slide of this entire webinar, which is the practice slide. I know a lot of us consider and think that we are great presenters, which which it's quite possible. But, Sachin Tendulkar is the world's greatest batsman because he practices and he doesn't take it for granted. And therefore, unless and until you practice, and I as a facilitator, I can talk by my experience. Every time that I have a training to do, I practice in front of a mirror. I practice in front of my kids. So practice is the real essence of this all these pointers that we are talking about. Why? Because even these actors, you might feel that, hey, Steve Jobs is so impromptu that it is very easy for him to come to a platform and speak like that. Well, you will be surprised to know the amount of effort that each of these presenters who are effective do and take to make themselves perfect. Because, and the reason why it is important is, if you are connected with your content, you are connected with your audience. And the more that you practice, the more you know your content and the more connect you establish with your audience. So I think the very, very important part, and I would say, is that unless and until practice it, if it is required, as much as possible and as in a consistent way as possible. So with that, I come to the end of the second module. And before I go to the trivia, I have to stop and I would want to ask these questions. I would want everybody to use the chat window right now. And if there's somebody who wants to share, if they want to share what their key takeaways were. So from the various things that we've discussed, we talked about what is virtual presentation. We talked about what are the differences between virtual and face-to-face, what are the different types. We also talked about how can we make our PPT capabilities and ourselves effective as presenters. What was your key takeaway from today's session? I would want everybody to please use the chat window and share that with me. Is there somebody who wants to share? Okay, do's and don'ts, Ashfaq says. Okay, Rahul says practice what we know very well. Okay. Is there anybody who would want to share? Okay, Sunil says, I think most of the items we follow in our regular presentations. However, the key takeaway is practice. Okay, very good. Thank you for sharing that. Nayan says key takeaway was KISS, which is keep it short and simple, the do's and don'ts, the context of the presentation. Okay, in what way we have to present, energetic voice, crisp presentation. Yes, absolutely, Archana, you're right. Planning, Melisande says, Shiva Shankara says do's and don'ts. Okay, all right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Now is the time for us to take this quick trivia. Okay, let me share what we are going to do in this trivia. I would want everybody to have a pen and a paper if possible. Okay, have a pen and a paper. If you don't have a pen and a paper, please open a notepad on your systems to play this trivia. So I'm going to ask 6 questions. Every question is going to have 3 options. I'm going to give you 15 seconds to respond to each question. After 15 seconds, I will give away the answer. Now, there are 3 possibilities. 1, you get the right answer. If you get the right answer, give yourself 1 point. If you got the wrong answer, give yourself a 0. And there is also another option is that if you're not able to answer within 15 seconds, then also you're supposed to give yourself a 0. So this is for you. You don't have to share it right now. You only have to share your final scores in the chat window later on. But for right now, for the next 6 questions, this is a personal trivia that you're playing and you're noting down your answers and seeing whether you're right or wrong. Is everybody ready? I need a yes from everybody from in the chat window, please. Are you guys ready? Is everybody ready? Yes. Okay. Fantastic. So I'm going by time, and therefore this is my first question. Virtual presentation means face-to-face presentation, host and the audience attend remotely, or a telephonic conversation. Your 15 seconds starts right now. Okay, the correct answer, everybody, is the host and the audience is attending remotely. Let's quickly go on to the second question, the second trivia question. I will suggest that you don't have to give the answers on the chat window. Please take a notepad and write your answers. You have to give me the final scores that you have, okay? Let's go to the second question. My second question is, the most important element of a virtual presentation is technology, engagement, or both. Your 15 seconds starts right now. Okay, the correct answer is both. Both technology and engagement are important. Let's go to the question number 3. And the question number 3 is the 2 types of virtual engagements are, we talked about this in the session today, webinars, podcasts, or both. Your 15 seconds starts right now. Okay, the answer is both. Everybody who's got it right, please give yourselves 1 point. If you either have not been able to answer within 15 seconds or you've got the wrong answer, give yourself a 0. My next question is question number 4. The first step of making a presentation, we've talked about this, is starting with confidence, planning and preparing, or making a powerful conclusion. Your 15 seconds starts right now. Okay, and the answer is plan and prepare. I'm left with 2 more questions, guys, and here goes my question number 5. In context to the do's of virtual presentation, which one is correct? Read from your notes, put the camera at eye level, or use monotones. Read the question carefully. Your 15 seconds starts right now. Okay, and the answer is put the camera at the eye level. Now, the sixth question is a little tricky question, so I would want you guys to read it twice before you answer the question. Okay, and the question is, in context to the don'ts of virtual presentation, which one is not correct? The first one is don't ignore personal grooming, don't jump into the presentation, and third is use monotones, and your 15 seconds starts right now. Okay, and the answer is use monotones. Now, this is the final. This trivia was out of 6, and therefore now everybody, whatever scores you've got, you can share your scores out of 6 that you got. You can share it in the chat window, please. Please go ahead and share your scores in the chat window. Okay, wow. Oh, we have rock stars in the webinar today, is it? Everybody is telling me a 6. Someone says a 4, okay. Ashfaq says a 5, okay. All right. Okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you for your active participation in the trivia. And I'm now opening the forum for the next, you can tell me if there is any question related to any part of this webinar that you have. Please feel free to ask your questions. I'm opening the forum for any questions that you might have. If you're good, then you can say a yes in the chat window, please. If you don't have any questions, please say that, okay. Sumit says, okay. All right. I would like to appreciate that you are on time. Okay. Thank you, Sunil. Thank you for that appreciation. No questions. Okay. All right. Okay. I have a few things to share before I sign off, everybody. After the session, everybody is going to receive a link. It would be great. It is always okay. How can we include some activity? Right. Okay. Ashfaq. Okay. So in the beginning, there are different ways that you can include the activity. It also depends upon the kind of presentation that you are doing, the kind of topic that you've chosen. The activity has to be accordingly. Most of the activity is, more importantly, it is important to engage your audience. So you can open the session with what are your thoughts, what are your questions, and get people, like a trivia I did was also an example of activity. When you began, you can ask a question to include the activity. These are the various small little things that you can choose to do depending upon the timing of the webinar, the duration of the webinar. Okay, Nayan says, thanks, good insights. I would love to hear from all of you as to how your experience of this 1 hour was. I hope you found value in the time that you invested with me in this webinar. Our team is going to send out a mail to everybody requesting them for your feedback. Please please take out a little time and share your thoughts, and I will appreciate you doing that. We're also going to share a gist of this presentation with you as a nugget, and for you to refer to that. So thank you everybody for this amazing participation. Thank you for your comments here. Thank you. I truly appreciate what everybody is saying. Ashfaq, Melisande, Rajesh, Sumant, Nayan. Thank you so much, guys, for your comments. And I wish you a great day ahead, guys. And I wish to see you in the next presentation skills webinar or other webinars that I'm going to conduct in future. So see you till then. Thank you, everybody, and see you soon.
Thank you.